Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
Welcome to the IPA Champions Cup, live on Sporty Stuff TV.
Well, a very good evening and welcome to day 3 here in Yorkshire of the Sporty Stuff Champions Cup of Pool. We've had two contrasting days really. First day, all the favourites won. Yesterday, absolute shock. Yesterday, the outsider of the four players won got through yesterday. So it's day 3. What's in store today? I've got with me my old mate, the legend here from the pool, Mr. Mark Pickworth. Good evening, Mark. How are we, mate?
Yes, I'm really good, thank you. It looks like you've enjoyed your last 2 days.
Yeah,
and
caught the sun as well, haven't I?
You have, yeah.
Lovely,
I didn't know we could actually get to see some sun, but
there's heat lamps behind us. That's
you
what
must
it
live
is,
somewhere
isn't it?
nice,
Big heat lamp.
nicer than me.
We've had two absolutely first day procession, as we call it, wasn't it? You know, absolutely
Flawless, I think.
flawless. Yeah. And yesterday, shock of all shocks. Yesterday, wasn't it? The 8-1 chance going through yesterday. Only four contestants, 8-1. Big price, wasn't he? Out of
Yeah, Jamie Clark, the Shark.
Jamie the Clark.
He played awesome. Yesterday.
Chesterfield as well. So.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Drove through Chesterfield tonight to get here. Funny enough.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sheffield. We went Chesterfield, trying to miss the traffic on the M1.
That's it.
Anyone can do that. They deserve a medal, can't they? That traffic.
Absolutely.
Anyway, tonight we got. We always come up with a little bet, don't we? I have my belly buster, and you have your picker's pick. And I'm gonna have a look here at the 4 players we've got here tonight. And you're going to tell me about these players because you know Clint Hansen.
Yeah, so these 4 players here, this is the group of the week. Without no offence to the other players that have played this week, this is pretty much like the group of death for this week. Clint Hansen is the number 5 player in the IPA ranks. He's up against Corey Reese. He's one of the most informed players of last season, and he's going to take some beating. But Clint Hansen, I mean, just look at his record there. He's won 7 out of his last 10 there. And he's got a 67% win ratio in 6 years. Ooh. So he is going to be taking some stopping. And he's the fans' favourite. Every time we have a vote for the fans' favourite, Clint near enough wins every time.
Really?
He really does, yeah. I think he lost it last year to David Adenall. Well, he did lose it last year to David Adenall, but I think he won it. Well, he has won it for the last 4 years.
And he's favourite tonight to win, isn't he?
To win the group, tonight, yeah. And you know, I think a lot of us can't see a lot further than that, to be honest.
Yeah, but he's got the Corey Reese as well in the group tonight, and you know he's only a 9-4 chance to win it tonight as well, isn't he, Corey? So, you know, look at this. Jibbs, his nickname is.
Jibbsy, yeah, he's our number 13 seed, and he's one of our informed players of last season. And I mean, obviously the win-lose ratio doesn't look that great on their 50% record, but he's got a 68% win record, you know, in the last 5 years, and he's been to 3 finals. He hasn't won one yet, but he's going to be knocking on the door for some finals this season.
He's improving.
Absolutely.
How about Alex O'Donoghue as well? We've got.
Yeah, he's another dark horse if you ask me, and I know he's got a ranking there of 31, the Don as we call him, and again a 50% record. And over the 6 years that he's been playing on the IPA ranks, he's got a 56% win ratio, and anything over 50% win in the IPA ranks is really good.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we was talking about Alex Donoghue, and he said how he's rated 31. In his eyes, he should be in the top 15. He said, don't look at that rate 31.
Absolutely.
He's a lot better than 31. Yeah. And the bookies, they're only going 7-2, Alex, to win this evening, to win the group. So if he was a real rank 31, it'd be an 8-1 chance. Yeah. But he's only 7-2. So I think the bookies may have that right tonight with Alex at 7-2.
Absolutely. And the reason why he's a low-ranked sort of professional player is that he was a professional, then he went back to the amateur ranks, and then he's just come back in the last 2 years. So that's why he's quite low down. But in the next, I reckon next season, he's going to be ranking in the top 16.
Top 16?
Absolutely.
So that 31, forget about that back home. He's not a ranked 31. He should be in the top 16, Alex O'Donoghue. And also, we've got the outsider of the party. You know what happened last night?
Well, we love outsiders, don't we?
Well, what happened last night, I think the bookies love the outsider, but we've got Chrissy Kingham from Brighton, and he makes up the 4 tonight, the magic 4, as we say. And That's not Chrissy Kingham, is it?
It's
It
not
doesn't
Chrissy
look like
Kingham,
Chrissy
no.
Kingham, does he?
But that's last night's runner-up last night.
That was last night's runner-up.
It was.
But I'll tell you what we have got. We haven't got a picture of Chrissy at the moment, but I've got this here. I don't know if anyone can see this here. And Chris Kingham to win all 4 matches this evening is 136 to 1.
Wow.
So, no, not 4 matches, 3 matches, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 matches
Only
tonight.
3
That's all he's
matches,
got to win
Chrissy.
tonight.
Sorry, not 4. So if you do fancy another shock tonight, well, we haven't seen a picture of Chrissy. How about this? Here's a better picture. 136 to 1, Chrissy Kingham to win all 3 matches this evening. Can it be done? And here he is. Have a look. What a lovely boy as well he is, isn't he?
He is from
Chrissy
Brighton. He's come all
from
the
the
way.
south coast, from Brighton. One of my
Certainly
favourite
is.
seasides. Sorry, Skegness is my second favourite. But Chrissy Kingham and 136 to 1. There's some odds there. Can Chrissy win all? Of course he can.
Absolutely, and Chris is another player. I know he's on the amateur ranks. He's been with us now. He's coming into his 2nd year, and he's got a 52% win record in the amateur ranks. So, and it's still quite tasty.
And this is his 2nd year.
This is it. Yeah, this is it.
So he's improving fast as
Absolutely, he is.
well. Right, I want a Pickers Picks. We always get a Pickers Picks every evening, Mark.
Okay.
What's going to be your Pickers Pick for this evening?
Well, my Pickers Picks before
Can we show the viewers, please?
Well, because obviously you've shown one of your little favourites.
Yes,
and
I have,
I'm going to show mine. So one of my things that I'm going to do for Pickers Picks tonight is Clint Jansen to win all 3 matches, and that is 9 to 2. A 9 to 2 winner. So if you look through the betting partners now, there is a possibility of that bet being on. So it could well be worth it.
9 to 2.
Brilliant.
Well, I'm going to take you on. I always like taking you on, you know. And usually in the pub at night, when we have a pint after. But here's my belly buster for this evening. I'm going to go for Corey Reese at 9 to 4 to win the group. Wow. So if I win, you can't win.
Exactly.
Can you? So one of us one of us should win. But I'm going to take Corey. I'm going to go with the man. I'm going to take you on this evening with the hot pot. I know, Anson is different class, and but I just think a bit of value. 9 and 4. I'm going to take you on tonight, Corey, to win the group. But I'm looking forward to it as well. And
Corey Reese is on first, hasn't he? He's got Alex O'Donoghue first, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, this one here even, I've got the odds here. It's 7 to 4 Alex O'Donoghue to win. It's 11 to 10 Corey Reese to win. And if you think the drawer is 9 to 4. Now, the man sitting next to me, he's gone here for a draw on match 1.
Yeah, I think so. Because they've got previous matches there, as you can see. So Alex is 1-1-7-3 and Corey's 1-1-7-1. So again, it's one match each.
So really, this match can go in either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So although the bookies have gone 11 to 10 Corey Reese and 7 of all Alex O'Donoghue, 9 of all the draw. Don't forget, if you want to play with this, you play with all our betting partners here. And this first match is only screened live, isn't it, with the betting partners?
That's correct.
Don't forget, we come on live at 10 o'clock on Sporty Stuff TV, channel 437, and we'll have the last 5 matches live at 10 o'clock. But the first match is going to start very, very shortly. And also, we've got a real added attraction this evening. We've got the legend, and he is a legend. I remember this man. Honestly, I love the snooker, and I love pool, I love darts, and this voice. There's no one better than this man, all the way from Canada, who's going to commentate this evening for us. Jim White is going to commentate. And also from Reading, we've got my old mate as well there from Reading, Dan Davies. So we've got Jim. Jim's actually in his snooker hall this evening in Canada. So if you hear a few balls being potted behind, it's not the balls potted here. It's in Jim's snooker club from Canada. So we've got Dan Davies in Reading. And we've got Jim White in Canada. Our referee for the first match here is Ben Taylor Ferranti. And I think I can say no more. Let's get over to the arena and watch match 1.
Well, thank you very much. It's if I have to run to pour a few pints, everyone's going to understand. I'm still working here too, so you might hear a few balls in the background, but hopefully there won't be too many potted here. We're going to see a few more potted right on our front and center stage, but this is what it's all about. The focus of our attention, it's the 2022 Sporty Stuff TV Champions Cup. And Dan, this is, I'll tell you, when you get the betting element involved in this, it creates a whole different perspective because remember, folks, these are round objects and they don't always listen.
Wins the leg.
No, and it's the format as well. We've got, it says there 4 in brackets is a best of 6. So it's a race to 4, but the draw comes into play. So you can have a 3-3 draw. So just to briefly go over the format, we've got 4 players tonight. 1 goes through to stage 2, where you're guaranteed to be in the money. And the 2 best qualifiers, so the 2 best second place players out of the 6 groups, will also get through to stage 2, where there'll be another 2 groups of 4. So tonight is all about
Champions
finishing
Cup,
first,
Group
finishing
C,
top of your group,
match 1.
getting through to
Best of
stage
6
2.
frames.
If you can't
First frame,
top your group,
Alex
try
O'Donoghue
and
to
get
break.
through as the.
Time running.
You don't want to call them lucky losers, do you?
No such a thing.
No. But
Well,
yeah,
it
if
all
you do,
starts now.
it all starts now. So first matchup, we've got Alex O'Donoghue. He is 3rd favourite to win this group, 7-2, with our betting partners, and Corey Reese 2nd favourite, Gary's pick at 9-4. Corey Reese is ranked number 14 in the IPA pro ranks. Alex O'Donoghue currently 35. And you would have to make Corey favourite, but he's only a slight favourite. Alex is a very, very good player. Just down the road from me in Swindon. Corey the Welshman. You see this early doors here. This is a tough finish.
Yeah, and 6
Alex.
to be played. So obviously getting off the mark quickly. Keep your opponent under pressure.
Yeah, every frame is sort of what's the word, magnified. You know, the difference between going 1-0 up and 1-0 down is not so important in a race to 10, but when it's just best of 6 frames, you are well up against it from the very
10
start.
seconds.
See Alex there, just didn't quite get into the cue ball enough. It kind of skidded a little bit after he played that, trying to screw into the left, the yellow that was on the left-hand side cushion, but it's just kind of skidded a little bit and not gripped quick enough. So he's now in a spot of bother.
Now let me ask you a question, Dan. As a
Extension
player
call.
yourself, when you've got the best seat in the house watching these guys, and you can analyze what they're doing, do you find that your game's improved from being able to commentate?
Do you know? Yes and no. I think it's it works both ways really. You can learn stuff from commentating, but you can also find yourself maybe overthinking sometimes, you know, and thinking what should I or shouldn't I have done, and
Extension call.
when you're in certain situations. So I think it's a bit of both really. Yeah, it's a bit of both. If the first time you sort of play after you've commentated, you kind of think about the game a tiny bit differently than before. But I personally find it a nice little break when you're away at tournaments and, you know, get in the commentary box for a couple of hours rather than go up to your room and do absolutely nothing, bored out your brains, you know, waiting for your next match. Get in the commentary box, kill a bit of time, passes the day. That's a very good shot from Corey. That's come out perfect.
Yeah, he's given himself every chance to try and win it this visit.
Yeah, he's got a decision to make on the black. Does he go into it because he's going to be able to leave himself a chance to go into it, or does he play on it? See, now he's got the perfect angle if he wants to break into that black and dislodge that from the side cushion, but he's got a way up. You know, if he lands on it, it's still a 9 out of 10. You know, if he lands on it good. So does he bother to go into it? Is it a risk? Is it a risk worth taking? Yeah, so he's played it.
I always look for unforced movement. Tends to be a magnifier of nerves. You know, players, you know, limit their time around the table, get on with the business at hand. Sometimes easier said than done.
Yeah, do you mean in Corey's mannerisms as he goes around the table kind of thing?
Well, I just tend to see when I see a person where he's moving around the table a little more than would be normally the case, just probably trying to settle himself down.
Yeah, it's almost that he can be quite fidgety, Corey, when he kind of first gets into the match. But I think you'll see that.
10 seconds.
I think it's sort of like I would call it a good nerves. The nerves that make you really focus and switch on and play better. He's just double checking his angle on everything, just composing himself. A little bit more than he normally would because it's the first frame of the match. Knows how big it is. But make no mistake, Corey's a great player. This season, he got to the final of Tour 2, lost out to Mark Farnsworth in the
10
final.
seconds.
We looked at our betting partners, and Clinton Hanson was favourite for this group at 4-5. Corey Reese was 9-4. Now, anybody that knows English pool will know that Clint for the last 5 to 10 years has been one of the best. He's been top 10 consistently on the planet, but Corey is that good that I would actually have it as these two as Clint and Corey being joint favourites for this group. Corey really is that good. He's an incredible player.
Well, this has been a pretty slick finish by Corey Reese there. Couple real testy shots and passed with flying colors. Opens his account, secures the first frame.
A nice one to settle the nerves. With early tension in the arm. Just took him out very nicely.
Well, if anybody jumped on that 9-4 for Corey to secure this group, then they've got to be pretty comfortable with what they're seeing in the early stages.
Yeah, because in this group you've got Clint and Corey. Clint favourite, Corey second favourite. You've got Alex third favourite. Alex is very good, well capable, a former finalist of a TV
Frame
event
2.
just during lockdown recently.
Corey Reese to break. Leading
And then
one frame
you've
to
got the
nil.
outsider, Chris Kingham,
Time running.
14-1. Obviously, we saw the outsider Jamie Clark win yesterday at 8-1. The outsider today, Chris Kingham. He's a good amateur. He's ranked 39 on the amateur ranks. Bit of an unknown quantity, but I did play him at one of the tours recently. He's a good player. I wouldn't be surprised to see him, win at least one of these matches. It could happen, but make no mistake, he is well up against it in a really strong group tonight.
Well, a powerful break. That one from Corey, but haven't finished ideally.
No, one of those. It's
with which to get started even.
Extension cool.
Yeah, he's hit them really well, but they've all just congruent. Every single ball apart from one red is at the right-hand side of the table. You don't see that often. It's taken as extension. So we have a 30-second shot clock in operation tonight. And each player in each frame gets a 30-second extension each.
10 seconds.
Corey's taking his at the start of this frame because it's such a messy table. He still hasn't decided what he wants to do. He's decided to attack. Well, that's come out pretty good, Jim.
It's like, wow, what an opening shot that was from Corey Reese. Wow.
Yeah, it's brave to even attempt the shot, but he's more than pulled it off. And although this is still a very tricky finish, it's a little bit less tricky than it was 30 seconds
10
ago.
seconds.
He's had a couple looks already at the black in the middle of the table too, just to see where it may be available.
Yeah,
didn't want to leave that bridging over the yellow.
No, he'll be very annoyed at that. Anywhere but there, if he's just a roll to the left or even a roll to the right, he can get out for his next red maybe. But yeah, this is awkward
10
queuing.
seconds.
But the problem is as well, he needs to hit this at some pace because he needs to get over towards that left-hand middle pocket as well. What a shot that is.
Yeah, he's made a couple very tricky shots, like easy. And that was
very
straightforward,
I don't know how much
that last.
Yeah, it's very good. I don't know how much you've seen of him, Jim, but he's got very smooth cue action. He's a regular century break snooker player, Corey.
Now he held for the red to the side.
Yeah, I think he's just
The
deciding
problem now is getting onto that black.
Yeah, and I think from what we've just seen him in the way that he's just aimed his cue, he's just kind of taken his medicine, and he's going to leave the cue ball
10 seconds.
where the red in the top right hand side of the table is, and just leave himself along black. He won't be too happy with that. He wanted to be straight, and see him just shrug the shoulders and shake his head, shake it again. Ideally, he wanted to be straight on that, so he could just. You see now he's going to have to do himself an even more difficult black than he wanted to.
Ten seconds.
Just pinched a little bit of that corner pocket. Leaves himself this tricky black now.
Yeah, like we're saying, these short races.
An understatement.
Yeah, exactly. And these short races it's so much more
10
important
seconds.
than normal. 2-0 up in a best of 6 versus 1-1. Oh, and he's missed it. He's barely hit the jaw, to be honest, Jim. And Alex has got a great chance now to level this up.
Yeah, it was never going to be easy. He left himself the chance, and what a finish it would have been. That all counts for nothing now.
No, the only thing you can really see going wrong for Alex is the yellow on this right-hand side cushion, just directly to the left of his hand now, but he's got the perfect ball to get on it. He's just got to drop it in, and he's another very simple yellow into the left-hand middle as well, so can't really see this going wrong for Alex. He likes to get on with it as well. Doesn't waste no time. Rapid player. Oh, Alex, what have you done there? Do you think he's hit this a bit hard, Jim? Is there any need for that?
Well, I know one thing. It never looked in right from the strike, but carelessness. Still a super difficult 8, though.
10 seconds.
For Corey. Try and snick this in. But what a chance.
Big moments.
One that he didn't expect he was going to get.
Foul.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Corey Reese. That's harsh.
Talk about backing into a win. That's just exactly what Alex O'Donoghue did there. 1-1. Level pegging.
Wow. What a frame. What a frame already. He's really got away with one there, Alex. I like the yellow that he missed down the cushion. I think especially on these brand spanking new tables, a brand new cloth, and the slower you hit them, the more generous the pockets play.
Frame 3.
He was quite well behind.
Alex
I'm
O'Donoghue
surprised
to break.
he just
Scores a tie.
sort
One
of pocket
frame all.
weight.
Time running.
Alex, but he's got to put that to the back of his mind now. He's got away with it. 1 each. It's Alex to break. Oh, look at these reds, Jim. I mean, I think I'd fancy him to clear up on yellows, but look at the reds.
Yeah, couldn't really. If you were throwing them out just to hit some balls to loosen up your back arm, you might toss them just like this.
He's gone yellows, and that tells me that the red right next to it probably was too close to the yellow and didn't go into the left middle, but I mean, either colour set. Fancy Alex to get these. It's just that yellow closest to the black on that top cushion that's going to pose the problem. Looks like he's going to back himself to play one good positional shot onto the yellow at the top of the table. So it's just all going to be about leaving himself the right angle on his second last yellow to get up table, and I don't think that's really what he wanted to do. And you can see from his facial expression he's not happy with that.
Extension called.
Taking his
He's got
extension.
the angle to be able to get below the 2 reds and leave himself the angle on that yellow to the left center.
Yeah, I could
Very
almost.
careless.
Yeah, very careless. He's almost kind of played a little bit too quickly, and he's got very lucky there. To be honest, he's just apologised to Corey. He's flicked off the red. I mean, he couldn't have left himself a better angle there. Just deciding how close he wants to get to this yellow. Does he risk going all the way up table and playing it into the left middle? Probably shouldn't. Probably should just leave yourself a shot.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's just backed himself to make the long one. No heroics needed. Just make the ball. That's as far as I don't know what to say there, Jim.
Well, that one didn't threaten the pocket, and I think you just saw, if you didn't think that Alex was feeling it a bit, you just got an example of it.
Yeah, I know Alex quite well, and that's the most I've seen him miss a ball by ever.
Extension called.
I think he was in two minds as to whether to roll it or kind of stun it, and he's ended up doing neither and just completely taking his eye off the pot.
Well, we've seen a few hiccups in this match, still the early going. But this is obviously an opportunity that Corey Reese, just to get himself straight again, get that head back on, he wants to take advantage of.
Yeah, he's played that nicely. I'm not 100% sure whether the red. He's just come around to look at it now. Can he make it from there? Can he make it from there? Does he? I think it goes, but only just by the looks of it. Just about come far enough for Corey.
Well, this will help settle his nerve.
Frame.
Secures frame number 3, and with it a 2-1 advantage. 3 more to come, but Corey Reese in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more of the same really from Alex. He's made a mistake in every frame so far. He can kind of count himself lucky to not be 3-0 down, to be honest. So he's got to try and take the positives from it. He's not had a great start. Corey Reese 2-1 up. Alex really does need to settle.
Frame 4. Corey Reese to break. Leading 2 frames to 1. Time running. Foul.
Yeah, cue ball straight into that top right corner. Just a bit of a
1
miss
free
hit from
shot.
Corey Reese there.
1 visit. Time running.
Never easy, the break shot. Power and control.
Yeah, it's a fine line, Jim, between hitting them hard and not trying to hit them too hard and losing timing. I'd say that Corey's one of the
10
best,
seconds.
one of the very best at
Extension
breaking.
called.
He seems to master the art of, ironically, because he's obviously just gone in off there, but of controlling the cue ball while seeming to generate an awful lot of power. Not many people can do that and make it look so effortless. I found, Jim, when I've been, some tournaments you're breaking well, other tournaments you're not breaking well. It seems to me that I tend to break better towards the back end of a tournament when I'm more confident and cueing well,
Foul.
which lends itself to the argument, as we just see Alex going off there. It's a little bit harsh,
One
but
free shot.
for argument's sake, he shouldn't really
One
have been
visit.
anywhere near that middle pocket.
Time running.
No, I couldn't agree more.
And you see Corey's got, there's one potential issue, which is the red to the left of the black doesn't go, but he can use his free visit to
Extension call.
clear that path. But yeah, back to the break, Jim. Long story short, it tends to be towards the end of a tournament when I'm more confident and cueing well that I seem to break at my very best. And I think that lends itself to the argument that it is completely about timing and not about power. We see it's not just the big guys that break well. You see someone like Mark Boyle's quite a slight guy. He's got one of the best breaks you'll see, and it's just all about timing. And I think this I don't know why, because I'm not even a huge fan of him. But Conor McGregor, one of his sayings is timing is power, but it's true. It applies to cue sports. It is true.
Well, we'll see if Corey Reese can take these reds out from here. We're all there waiting. When the expectations are high, so too is the pressure.
Yeah, and this little lapses of concentration that you need to guard against, like what we've just seen there from Corey. He's left himself on the right hand side cushion now, so he's kind of got he's out of position. Does he just roll this in and leave himself a long red? Does he try and power it round? It looks a bit straight for that.
10 seconds.
It shouldn't. As it is, he's having a jack up, and these are missable now. He's played it well. Nervy start from both players, Jim.
Absolutely. Now he's going to be called on again here with this long straight red. Won't have to do much with the cue ball.
No, again, just keep your head still, cue it straight. It's a great shot.
Frame.
Well, that was a big frame for Corey. It assures him at least 1 point. 3-1 the lead. Far from convincing, but it's 3-1 nevertheless.
Yeah, and look, first up, if you're Corey Reese, you don't care. You just want the win. You just want the 2 points on the board. If you do get the win, he knows he's guaranteed to draw now, but you want the win, you want the 2 points. If he does get that, he's going to feel $1 million going into a second game, completely refreshed, reset, and I'd expect him to play an awful lot better. And that last frame would have been a real confidence boost, because with 3 balls left, he really put himself into a bit of trouble. But
time running.
He's played a couple of nice shots under pressure, and I'd expect him to kick on and win from here. Alex needs a ball off the break. Doesn't look like anything's gone down, and at first glance, the Reds look very, very nice. The Reds
Extension called.
top of the table. He can play off the cushion, off the yellow. Just see him eyeing it up there as we speak. If that goes well, I think this could be game, set, and match.
Alex hoping for one more chance at the table. And that's going to be down to Corey. Just wants to be certain, because he's definitely got to be in line with the winning post here.
Yeah, just seeing him take a bit more time. He took his extension. Just to figure out exactly what he wants to do. The order in which he wants to take these balls. So often we see how crucial that is. And if this shot goes right, I think it's game over.
10 seconds.
So he needs to go cushion first, half or quarter ball on the yellow. Oh, it went past. It went past. We see him take so long to look at it. He obviously went, but just into half a pocket, not a full pocket. See, he's just making his mind up. He keeps on sort of thinking, what order is he going to take the balls in? Is he going to leave the red at the top right-hand corner till last so he can play the black into the middle? Is he going to leave the red that he's about to play now last because that's the one closest to the black? But he's made his decision. He's going to need a semi-tricky positional shot. He's going to need to find some sort of gap to make sure that he lets him gives himself a good enough shot on the red into the top right. This is the last thing that can go wrong for Corey. And it has. He's overhit it. His margin of error there was anywhere below that left-hand middle pocket, and he was fine. And he's overhit it. Alex has got a lifeline.
10 seconds.
Oh, big chance for Alex. He's shown us glimpses, hasn't he, Dan? He's a very capable player.
Alex is a very fast-flowing player, so I think with the faster players, they can look very good one day and very ordinary another sometimes when they're not quite on their game. But Alex can be frighteningly good when he's at his very best.
Ten seconds.
Just doesn't look like a confident player to me.
No, he looks like somebody that's made a few mistakes in these first few frames, and in a nutshell, Jim just hasn't settled at all from frame one of this match, and has made this hard for himself as well.
Yeah, you just feel like there's always a miss coming, just a matter of time.
Yeah, and pool's one of those funny games. You know, you're watching one another day, and you can think, how does this guy lose? You know, he looks so talented. He plays so quickly. He looks so natural. But I think with a lot of the quicker players, when they start to make mistakes, they kind of carry on. Oh, Alex.
Yeah, he's not going to get another chance.
I don't think so. I mean, we've got, to be fair, Corey's got a tricky one down the cushion. I don't think we're going to see him do anything stupid and try and cut the red into the left middle.
10 seconds.
So he's got to play this at a little bit of pace to the top right corner pocket, but I fancy him to get this. It wiped his feet a little bit, Jim, but he's okay. Played it soft enough for the pocket to accept it. A little bit of a cut back into a blind pocket. But you feel that this really is for the match because the cue ball's going to be coming out towards the centre of the table and
10 seconds.
he's got to put everything into this shot.
Let's just gather himself. Last hurdle.
Frame and the match.
Nicely
Corey
done.
Reese wins 4 frames to 1.
A slow start from Corey Reese, but he's got there in the end, Jim. And a win's a win.
A win is a win is a win. So Corey will sit back and relax now, and we'll be welcoming a couple more players onto center screen. And I'll be curious to hear what our pundits have to say about this one.
Yeah, that was Corey Reese. First time I've seen him. He looked very, very good.
Yeah, I think he'll be pleased with that start. Alex, he's got a lot more to do. He didn't look very confident out there tonight. I know a couple of things sort of went wrong for him. So he'll be a little bit disappointed. But Corey Reese deserved his win. It was a shame it was 4-1, but...
And although he's won 4-1, Mark, what Jim said, he never looked, at the beginning of the match, Corey, he looked like he was walking around the table a lot, but when the match got on to the later stages, he looked more confident, didn't he? And I think, well, there's going to be it looks to me a shootout now tonight. I know we haven't seen the boy from Brighton yet, but I think Corey Reese and the favourite,
Clint Hansen, yeah.
Tonight. It looks to me like a shootout between the two, doesn't it? Who's going to win?
It does now.
Now Alex has lost that first match.
Absolutely, Corey's won that match there, and he'll feel a lot better about himself because, like you've already noticed, the way that it was going about the table, there's definitely a lot of nerves out there, and just to sort of defend the players a little bit, they're not used to this studio setting week in, week out, or tournament at tournament, because we have a very different setup at the tours.
Yeah.
But when we come to these big tournaments, this is the studio setup. It sort of splits the men between the boys.
Yeah, and it looks different as well, and I should imagine playing as well. There's the atmosphere. You're a player. You're a professional player. There is a lot of tension out there, isn't there, Mark?
Well, there's cameras watching you. Everyone knows that you've got your family, your friends watching you, and plus all the other thousands of people that are also watching. And also, if there's some of the people that's got the bets on, they don't want to let people down.
Exactly. And you've talking attention. Look at our next match here. You've got Chrissy Kingham coming up. He's a 9-2 chance, Chris. And he's playing Clint Hansen here. He's a 5-2 on chances. You're seeing it here on the thing. And we're going to be back here just dead on 10 o'clock on Sporty Stuff TV on channel 437 for that match as well. So we'll see you very, very soon.